Good morning. 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 Hey, Monica, Dr. Monica, how are you? Good morning, Barbara Berg. How are you? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to everyone. Hi, Leah. Hi, Cheryl. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, Rhonda. Hey, Nicole. Hi, Winter. Morning, y'all. Good morning. Good morning, Donna. Welcome, welcome. Come on, please share and tag a friend. I'm going to share over here. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Come on in. 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 Let's see. Hey, Yolanda. Good morning, Reverend Allison, Reverend Eileen, Reverend Glency, Antoinette, Thelma. Hey, Thelma, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Hey, LaRonda. Good to see you. Good to see your names. Good morning. I invite you to share. I'm going to tag Dr. Shaniqua Walker Barnes on in here. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So it's good to see. Hi, Dr. Paula. It's good to see everyone's names here popping up. Thank you for sharing, Yolanda. I appreciate that. Good morning, Don Jefferson, M. Div. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome, 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 welcome. It is good to see each of you all, to read your names, to be in this space with you, this virtual space, this digital hush harbor. I know, right, Monica? It is anniversary weekend. Listen, and that bed was feeling so good. It was hugging me. Good morning. Good morning. Showing up for all of us. Thank you. Hey, Regina. How you doing? Hey, Erica. Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. Good to see all of our names here. Good morning. Good to speak your names. I'm so, our community is bomb, just in terms of, everything we have, everything we need is in our midst. Last month, into this month, at the end of September through early October, we moved through Dr. Velma Love's book, Divining the Self. And then on last week, we started Dr. Shaniqua Barnes' book, Too Heavy a Yoke, Black Women and the Burden of Strength. After we finish this, we're going to move to Dr. Monica Coleman. I'm still deciding. I feel like it's going to be Making a Way Out of No Way, Monica. But Bipolar Faith, is by far just like my favorite too. So I'm still figuring which one, discerning. And so I just am led to finish out this year using Black Women's Sacred Text. Hey, Jay, Dr. J, using Black Women's Sacred Text as our guide, acknowledging that they have been led, that their words are also the word of God for the people of God, and want to lift them. And for some of us, it is the first time in our hearing that we, are being associated with such, I think, such likeness, such hearing these words for many of us is like, it's like receiving water after you've been in such a dry place. Hey Tammy, how you doing? Receiving, hey Brittany, receiving water after you've been in such a dry place, and reading it together in community, and rereading their words out loud and sharing them in community. And the beauty of Pink Robe Chronicles, this particular space, one of the beautiful things. And Jay, I read your description of Pink Robe Chronicles to my class this week, and they were like, wow, from the work you did a couple years back when you shared on PRC about how this space was providing for you and being able to see you and allowing you to show up in the fullness of who you are. Hey, Frenita. And so I think the beauty of this is this is what the community looks like. I call all of your names, and I don't always call everybody's titles. Those that are in the forefront of my mind, I call, and I don't do it to suggest separation. I do it because these are members of our community who carry us, right? Who carry us with them, who, because of conversations they've had with us, either on the corner or in the pew, something that we witnessed. And as a result, it awakened or enlivened something in them and caused them to move into a vocation where they write for us, about us, to us with love. And so the beauty of this is that we are all here, right? The writers who write for us, the everyday folk for whom we receive information are all right here in this space together. And man, it just feels so good when I see us conversing with one another, when I see, folks in the comments talking about, oh my God, these words. And then, Dr. Velma, or Dr. Shanique, or Dr. Monica, or whomever comes and, types back, and like that kind of interaction. That is the interaction I believe that, even if I'm romanticizing a little bit, y'all, it is the interaction I believe that the represents the invisible institution before we got brick and mortar, before we became institutionalized, if you will. Ashe. Hey, Reverend Carla Jackson, it's so good to see your name here. Good morning. And so I want to continue on this conversation. Good morning, Carolyn. Good morning, Brandeis. Good morning, Angela. I want to continue on this conversation. Hopefully, definitely, we always appreciate when the authors pop in. So maybe if Dr. Walker Barnes is available, she'll come back in the chat like she did on last week when she gave us that phenomenal word about being enslaved to the commitments that she'd made. Oh, Dr. J says, I love it here. I shifted because of this community. I was shaken into radically loving myself into freedom. Oh, my goodness, my. Hey, Dr. Walker Barnes, thank you. I do not count it, anything other than great appreciation for you showing up in these comments and help being present as we read your words, as we lean into them and inhale them. And I appreciate you journeying with us through this. So I want to jump right in. I invite you to go back to last week's Pink Robe Chronicles, which is housed on the Pink Robe Chronicles Facebook page. You can view all of the previous past Pink Robe Chronicle back through 2016. So hey, Digi Deacon, Natasha Robinson, Esquire. And so I invite you to go back. So I'm not going to do too much of going back, only because time, and there's so much to cover. And I want to invite you to do some of that work. Hey Mia, how you doing? She says, I just began Dr. Shaniqua's book and had the pleasure of sitting in on a workshop with Dr. Monica. Look at that. You see? Listen. Hey Kyle Stevenson. Listen, hey Tisa, hey Keisha. And for those of you who are new and you're wondering why I keep pausing to say people's names, is because as we do here, I honor and acknowledge folk and the energy that is attached to their names, that when we speak one's name, we are actually calling forth the interior of who they are, to show up, to hear, to stand, to be accounted for. Some folk who live alone and may not hear their names called all week, Ashe. But when someone speaks your name, it reminds you that yet not only are you here, but it reminds you that you are tethered to a great work that you have agreed to do on this side. And so I pause because I want you to know that I see you. And for the names that I don't call, it's usually because I missed it because I'm talking, so I didn't see your name. So don't take it personal, just know I didn't see it, Ashe. So good morning. Good morning. Hey, Tiffany. So I'm jumping right in to the strong Black woman. It will not be hard for you to follow, but I'm not going to go back, right? I'm going to jump in where we left off, because we want to begin today with these three features, these three core features that Dr. Walker Barnes gives to us, core features of what being a strong Black woman is. And those three core features are: 1, emotional strength and regulation; 2, caregiving; and 3, independence. But before I go there, I want to stop here early on in the beginning and read this part because it's necessary. I think this is around page 4. Listen for a word from the Lord. Ashe. The strong Black woman, and I invite you, if you've not already shared this, share and let folk know that Dr. Walker Barnes is right here in this chat, getting her life with us. Ashe. The strong Black woman is the woman who constantly extends herself on behalf of others. In her intimate and family relationships, on her job, and in her church and community, she is the go-to woman, the one upon whom others depend when they need assistance, counsel, or comfort. Driven by a deeply ingrained desire to be seen as helpful and caring. Driven by a deeply ingrained desire to be seen as helpful and caring, she is practically incapable of saying no to others' requests without experiencing feelings of guilt or worthlessness, as her willingness to help repeatedly reinforces others' tendencies to ask her for help. Her very nature becomes defined by multitasking and overcommitment. Whew, Lord, 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 Lord. A modern day Atlas, she bears the weight of her multiple worlds upon her shoulders. And unfortunately, she is as incapable of saying help as she is of saying no. Dr. Walker Barnes, the way you are snatching the few edges that I have left. Woo! Did you? So, not only is the strong Black woman incapable of saying no, the strong Black woman is also incapable of saying help. Since childhood, she has been taught that a good woman, especially a good Black woman, is independent, a giver and not a receiver of help, including emotional, financial, or instrumental support. I was thinking of the way that the adultification of girls is really is classed and raced, based on one's socioeconomic status, and as well as race. How Black girls are adultified, if that's a word, far earlier than I would say anyone else, because of the need for the parent to work outside of the home, because of the need to oftentimes work more than one job, because of the need to have to put responsibilities on Black girls in terms, I was a latchkey kid. So in terms of, letting yourself out of the house, either making your own breakfast or warming your breakfast up, or coming home and getting dinner started, or taking chicken out of the freezer. Make sure you take the chicken out of the freezer before you head off to school, so that by the time you can get home, you can start the dinner. Make sure that you have your chores done. Make sure that you have what you need, because by the time you get up, the parent is already gone for work. By the time you come home, the parent is not yet home for work. There is a way in which this adultification that also includes this type of responsibility is almost ingrained within us, and we take that as a badge of honor. We take that as a way of being, responsible, and we pass that responsibility on to our children. Talking to myself here about how to be responsible, how to show up, how to be self-sufficient. And on one hand, we see that as I'm just teaching you how to be independent, which is one of these features, so that you don't have to depend on anybody. But the problem with that is oftentimes we learn then not to depend on others or ask for help, not even God. Yeah, because the reliance, we become self-reliant. Child, listen. We become self-reliant so much so that we often even maybe possibly step into the parent's role, where the parent has to then speak back to us to say, hey, stay in your lane, stay in a child's place. And the confusion around that is, well, listen, how do I stay in a child's place and prepare a full meal, right? Yeah, how do I do that? Yet we uphold dearly, part one of the womanist definition, and maybe I don't know, Dr. Monica and Dr. Shaniqua and others of you who identify as womanists. I don't know. I'm thinking now about part one of the womanist definition that says, womanish opposite frivolous, right? Womanish as in you acting grown, serious, wanting to know more than you ought. And so I'm wondering possibly if that's a critique, right? If it's, because I've always read that as absolutely all day, you better speak to me. Yeah. But I wonder if maybe Dr. Walker is offering it as a critique, right? I don't know. But certainly it bears critique. Like it bears that the way that we have had to come up, right? And so not only is it now because we are being adultified and because we are this kind of stunted development or overdevelopment, if you will, in one area, causes us to not be dependent. And here's the other caveat is not just with parents, but not even with God. Not even God can say, do this, do that, because of the independence that we have been reared into. Listen. Ashe, Dr. Monica, I read it as a description, not necessarily with approval or disdain. Okay. This is why so many of us delight now in play, because we didn't get to play enough as children. How about the reality of asking for help in the natural, and sometimes it wasn't there? That's it. These responsibilities interfere with our own developmental needs as children. Yep. Put the roast in the oven, 350, and I'll finish it when I get home. That's it, right? So it is the inability to be able to ask for help, right? And while simultaneously not being able to say no. Now, remember, for our siblings who are on here, who are male identified or non-binary, listen, this is for all of us, right? The strong Black woman is a metaphor that we all fit into. And so don't say, oh, this ain't for us, I'm going to keep on scrolling. It's for the entire community. Ashe? Yes, absolutely. I'm just reading the comments here. Dr. Walker Barnes says, yep, I didn't want to critique that part of the womanist definition openly at the time, so I tried to imply it. Lately, I'm wrestling with it more openly. Natasha, that's it. I'm getting my childhood back by playing with my 4-year-old. It infuses and strengthens who I am now. The weekend before Thanksgiving, when I was 16, my mother looked at me and said, "You're going to get married one day and you're not bringing him here. Now go." And I made the full Thanksgiving dinner. My. Dr. Monica, I do think there is a way to teach children, young people, these skills without hanging the family's well-being on them, and to teach this to all children, not just girl children. Yes, 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 y'all. Woo, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So, okay, hold on. Y'all, my book still has not come in the mail, but we still should shop small and not the mall. I shopped a smaller independent bookstore instead of Amazon, and I'm still waiting on my books, but nevertheless, Ashe, let me get back to the section we were in. Since childhood, talking about the strong black woman, she has been taught that a good woman, especially a good black woman, is independent, a giver and not a receiver. I want to say something really bad. It's really grown, though. I don't care though, because I'm grown, so I'm gonna say it. And I'm not apologizing if it offends you. I'm just letting you know that I'm about to say something. So for those of you who have tender ears, you might, When I first read this sentence, Dr. Walker Barnes, I'm sure you may not have meant this, but I said, and let me tell you how deep this goes. Since childhood, she has been taught that a good woman, especially a good black woman, is independent, a giver and not a receiver. This is even sexually. In the acts of sex, in terms of pleasure, giving and or receiving pleasure, I identified with this on that level, in the sense of how, I'm thinking of Levon Proverbs here. Oftentimes that we have to really share with women folk, women identified persons, their ability, how, pleasure is their birthright. And this sort of ways in which even the prescription over our bodies, that we don't even like, that this is a duty, and I blame that on these Christian teachings about marriage, that this is one's duty and responsibility to give and not to receive. I mean, I'm just saying it's and the ways in which, right, women will, some, not all, but will engage in sex acts that are not reciprocal, where there is no mutual respect and responsibility, where there's no reciprocation of any act, that one only becomes a repository. Listen, okay, I'm moving on, but that just I know y'all, yeah, I know somebody knows what I'm talking about. And so a giver and not a receiver of help, including emotional, financial, or instrumental support. Moreover, as women of usually Christian faith, if she does need help, it should come only from one source, from God. Thus, fearful of being seen as unfaithful, the strong black woman invests considerable effort in maintaining the appearance of strength. Come on, you all know what it is. Fake it till you make it. Fake it till you make it. Honey, you ain't got to look like what you've been through. These are all the ones that I came up with. You ain't ever got to look like what you've been through, baby. Yeah. You might be tore up on the inside, but baby, your outside needs to be put together. Do you understand? Yeah. Yeah. Listen, let me tell you, the fit itself, might not be the most expensive, but let me tell you something. Those shoes and those undergarments, you got to learn how to piece this thing together, because that's part of faking it until you make it. Yeah. Thus, fearful of being seen as unfaithful, the strong Black woman invests considerable effort in maintaining the appearance of strength and suppresses all behaviors, emotions, and thoughts that might contradict or threaten that image until we're no longer able to suppress it, until we blow up, and then we are misidentified with these very problematic titles. Hey, Baba O. Dr. Daniel Black, this absolutely applies to women's sex life, and most men expect women to perform and receive whatever excites male flesh. If she is satisfied, is always a mystery. Where's my mic? I don't have one. So listen, Baba O. That's it. You even got to be a strong Black woman, honey, in the sex act. Yes, that is it, and remains a mystery. Listen, this is good. Hey, Deborah, this is good. Hey, Antonia, you got 5 minutes to cry. After that, get up and do what you got. Listen. Even as she continues, even as the physical and psychological toll of her excessive caregiving mount up, she maintains a facade of having it all together and being in control. And this is why we stroke out. And this is why. And this is why. Right here. This fuels, I saw somebody type, this fuels imposter syndrome. Because you can only feel that you're an imposter when you feel like you're not living up to something. If there's not a type of expectation, then there's no need to feel like you're being an imposter. Listen. But here's the footnote. I read all that because I wanted to get right here to this footnote number 3. Yes, Thelma, what I have been through should have destroyed me, but what I look like now on the outside looks like not a flaw ever happened. At my mother's homegoing, I was told at the casket that I was breaking down, that I could not break down. Friends. So footnote number 3. While the strong Black woman is the hegemonic Black femininity, strength is the operative term here. Strength is not the universal lens through which to view Black women's lives. That is, not every Black woman who demonstrates strength is a strong Black woman. And Dr. Walker Barnes is interrogating this notion of strong Black woman, all written all together, as a metaphor used to talk about, right? So she's saying there's a difference between having strength, right? Being able to withstand versus sort of this idea of strong Black women, that one could be strong and not be a strong Black woman. It is the idea of the strong Black woman here that Dr. Walker Barnes is interrogating. I want to push on, because indeed on the next page, oh my goodness. Indeed, perhaps nowhere in society is the strong Black woman more ubiquitous. I love that word. I just love how it sounds. More ubiquitous than in the Christian church. The church reinforces the mythology of the strong Black woman by silencing, ignoring, and even romanticizing the suffering of Black women. Rather than offering a balm to heal the wounds of Black women who cry out about their pain, the church admonishes them with platitudes such as, God won't give you any more that you can bear. And if he brought you to it, he'll bring you through it. And while the existence of the church is dependent upon the labor and participation of its largely female membership, women's leadership and decision-making authority in many denominations are limited to roles that have expectations of caregiver-based service that is neither required nor expected of men. Church mother, first lady, and pastor's aide imprisoned within the unholy trinity of self-denial, suffering, and silence. The Christian strong Black woman serves as the modern sacrificial lamb, with the church functioning as both the officiating priest and the altar of ungodly fire. Shit. Woo! Dr. Walker Barnes, my God, today. Woo-wee! Oh my word. This is the word of God for the people of God. Do you hear me? My goodness. I'm thinking of Dr. Jacqueline Grant asking the question, both her and then later Dr. Carrie Day, asking these questions around, is Black church safe for Black women? Well, come on and ask the question. Well, is the Black church safe? Is it a safe place for Black women, or does it require us to give all of who we are, to give, to exhaust ourselves, to sacrifice, to give literally body, soul, and mind? Is it a safe place? Is it a safe place? Is it a life-giving? Is Black church a life-giving space for Black women? In Dr. Carrie Day's book, Unfinished Business, she's interrogating this economic model and the ways that she talks about how Black women have given, have built, have opened their pocketbooks to build Black churches. But yet, what have Black churches given in return to Black women? In what ways does this model of doing worship, what ways does even this model of how we acknowledge God, in what ways is it life-giving to Black women? Come on, this is the question. Yet many Black women sit in, day in, Sunday in and Sunday out, hallelujah, and right, bringing all of their cares to the altar, because certainly they did not get met in the bedroom. Come on, walking back to our example, right? All of this repression and frustration, if you just give it to the Lord, if I just work my bones, if you will, if I just volunteer on every committee, because I don't have the ability to say no, and because I'm going to work myself tirelessly, because I also don't have the ability to say I need some help, because I want you to see that I'm not a failure, and I want you to be able to judge my love for God and for God's people based on this work, because faith without works is dead. So surely I got to make sure that my works show. And because I have been socialized, come on, because I have been socialized to give and not see it as receiving, so that when folk attempt to bless me with a little something, I push their hand back and say, no, I'm doing it for the Lord. When folks even attempt to bless me with a compliment, right, I don't even know how to take the compliment, right, because I'm not used to receiving, right, because there is a way in which even in my body has been programmed to take in, to give, but to take in, not as a receiver, but as a repository. There's a difference between receiving and being a repository. Friends, oh my goodness, today. And it's too heavy a yoke, is what Dr. Walker Barnes is saying. It's too heavy a yoke. But this is the motto of our churches. Not just society. This is the motto of our churches. Yeah. This is the motto of many of the homes that we grew up in. This is the motto of many of the jobs that we work on. This is the motto. And it's killing us. It's killing us. It's killing us. Listen. It is killing us. What is our pushback? I have to take a break. I have to just let me breathe for a second. I'm that full. Woo! Dr. Walker Barnes, my God. Listen, y'all. Hey, Marsha, listen. Hey, Rosie. Come on, Dr. Marsha Allen, Reverend Dr. Marsha Allen Owens. Our Black women's organizations then expect us to say no and load us with service in the name of sisterhood. Drop all 10 mics. Because the model is problematic, y'all. The model, church took it from society, these civic organizations, listen, sororities, AKA Delta, Zeta, Sigma, Gamma, Rho, Zeta, whomever all us, right? Links, Jack and Jill, whatever you in. All of those models are problematic. I said it. They're all problematic because they're all built on this myth of strong Black women. They all perpetuate this very problematic way of showing up in the world that is rooted in service. And this service we get from this interpretation. I need a New Testament scholar now on here. This interpretation that at the core, the root of ministry is to serve. But there is a to serve at what end? Listen, it doesn't make sense to serve if your service creates and causes oppression for you. So these core features, let me run on. Yes, Dr. Deborah, this place feeds silent anger, and silent anger turns into rage and resentment, ingredients for depression. Yes, Keisha, of us carrying the weight in these orgs, and the world is watching. Dr. Omo, Black women's bodies and serviceability are the basis of American capitalism, and that's why everyone wants it. No more words have been truer. Yeah. I'm paying for the privilege of being abused, me, at many a chapter meeting, often greeted by crickets. Listen, Tawana, I retired from the church not realizing my breast cancer diagnosis was on the horizon, and this step was a necessary step to save my life. So these three core features of the strong Black woman, we're just gonna go over one today, and that is emotional strength regulation. So I want to go back to this. Dr. Walker Barnes provides us this vignette in the beginning of this section, and it says, quote, "What's so bad about being the strong Black woman?" Which is a response that she often receives from church women and from students when she teaches and preaches on this subject. She says, it is a fair question. After all, the image of the strong Black woman is an infinitely more palatable alternative to the negative stereotypes of African American womanhood that have been propagated since our arrival on the shores of the United States. The sexually promiscuous and manipulative Jezebel, the asexual and happily oppressed Mammy, and the sharp-tongued and emasculating Sapphire. Indeed, the image of the strong Black woman has become an icon precisely because it is a counter to those other images. Yet for all of its superficial positivity, this image is no more freeing than others. To be clear, the strong Black woman, to be clear, the strong Black woman is not the same as being strong. Remember, I spoke to this, right? Dr. Walker Barnes says being Black and being a woman. That is, one can be a Black woman who is strong without falling into the cultural trap of the strong Black woman. The strong Black woman is a very specific way of being in the world with three core features, and that's the emotional strength, regulation, caregiving, and independence. I want to pause on the emotional strength regulation. As might be expected, emotional strength regulation is the central defining characteristic of strong Black women. Yet while there seems to be a nearly universal consensus that Black women are strong, the meaning of their strength is nebulous. Jesus, this is so good. People use the word loosely. People use the word loosely to refer to, hey, Larissa, yeah, you can check out Dr. Tamora Lomax's book, Jezebel Unhinged, for a full workout on Jezebel, Jezebel Unhinged, and there's some other resources that I will offer to you. People use the word loosely to refer to Black women with little to no attempt to explain what is meant. When explanation is rendered, it usually focuses upon superficial characteristics. The use of the word strong as a distinctive descriptor for African American women has a peculiar history. Hey, Dr. Diana, a peculiar history. During the American slaveocracy, Black women were routinely depicted as being unusually strong, possessing physical hardiness that far exceeded that of women of other races and even rivaled that of men. In contrast to the delicate white woman, this is also identified. Hey, Remberzola, identified as the cult of true womanhood. In contrast to the delicate white woman, Black women were seen as capable of performing heavy physical labor in the plantation fields and household. They could work through sickness and needed little recovery time after childbirth. And they were able to endure separation from their children and families. Indeed, the unfeminine strength of Black women was seen as evidence of their inferior humanity. It proved that they were incapable of full citizenship in society and that they were suitable for little more than the menial physical and reproductive labor that were characteristics of their slave status. And then Dr. Walker Barnes goes on to give examples, for instance, in the text Incidents in the Life of a Slave Girl, about Harriet Jacobs, and provides another example. During and since slavery, then, the strength of Black women has been a backhanded compliment, a convenient rationalization for the oppressive circumstances under which Black women lived and labored. I'm on page 20, Erica. I'm on page 20. I know that's right. Erica said, what page you on? I done got lost in these comments. It's the comments for me. That's always the blessing. I'm on page 20, Erica. Most Americans, however, ignore the history of this particular depiction of African American women and continue to internalize the notion that they are exceptionally strong. While our modern sensibilities reject the notion that Blacks are physically superior to whites, watch this, we have retained the idea that Black women have an innate emotional and spiritual strength that exceeds that of Black men and individuals of other racial ethnic groups. I'm so guilty of this. We only have to look as far as popular culture to find evidence of this belief. For example, in the television and film industry, where women of color are underrepresented, Black women are frequently chosen to play characters who possess emotional and spiritual wisdom in abundance. And she provides for us examples if you go on down and continue reading. I'm moving to page 21, though. The myth of Black women's strength is dangerously seductive. This is the sentence right here. This is the sentence right here. The myth of Black women's strength is dangerously seductive. Who gonna tell the truth about it? Me. Yeah. Let me read what she says before I give my commentary. The myth of Black women's strength is dangerously seductive in that it imbues Black women with a certain moral and emotional superiority, providing a psychic balm against the daily insults incurred from social injustice. No matter what her lot in life, a Black woman can take comfort in the fact that she is strong and that she possesses the emotional and spiritual fortitude, come on, Delta Sigma Theta, that have enabled her foremothers to withstand suffering that will enable her to do likewise. To some degree, this has an element of truth, as attested by Black women's survival against incredible odds of gender, racial, and class oppression. Further, the myth of strength may have an inoculative element to it, that Black women who believe that they are strong enough to endure suffering may in fact be more likely to endure it. Strength then is not inherently negative, but can be a gift that enables life in the midst of a death-dealing environment. For the strong Black woman, however, strength takes on a particular connotation that has dangerous consequences. Specifically, strength is intrinsically linked to suffering. That is, the capacity to withstand suffering without complaint. Woo, this is talking to me. The strong Black woman then is supposed to be capable of enduring life struggles without complaining. Indeed, she evinces no sign that she is under duress, regardless of the level of sometimes you just gotta let the words breathe. Man, might I offer, and this is why Dr. Monica said, "Oh, I'm showing up for y'all even on my anniversary weekend." Ashe. This on Thursday, my spouse and I celebrated 16 years of marriage, 26 years of being together. And let me tell you something. This hits so hard right now because I can clearly see why me operating in this myth of strong Black womanhood has been, could have been, it has been, and could be if I were to continue to live in a way that links this capacity to withstand, right, suffering without complaint. You heard me say last week the struggle of just feeling like you don't even have time to die, like, because there's so much on you, there's so much you got to do, there's so much you have to complete, right, that there's not even room for you to die. And many folk, whether we believe it or not, partner up with a personality that they are either familiar with already, that something that they, whether it be mother, father, whomever, but that they are already, there's a sense of familiarity with that. And and while, they're putting my stomach, I'm like, oh, do not say that you done married your mama. Like, But the truth of the matter is, in many ways, you have my mother in love. And if you are watching this, mama in love, know that I love you. And this is not a, this is a revelation. This is just sort of a revelation and an invitation for us to do something different in the ways that we show up in these relationships, in these partnerships, and in these marriages, right? Because again, walk it all the way back how we've been socialized, right? To be independent, to do 50,000 things, to multitask when we're really not multitasking at all. We're simply juggling, and we're not even good jugglers, because oftentimes when we're multitasking, something gets left behind. One of the balls drops. And so this capacity to withstand suffering without complaint speaks to the ways that folk have these silent expectations in these relationships that are built on this faulty model of being a strong Black woman. And so they have these unspoken expectations that are steeped in this idea of having the capacity to withstand suffering without complaint, with the hope that their partner is able to reach read their minds somehow, because God forbid, you've known me for how many years at this point, I expect you to know, instead of speaking clear expectations. But why can't we do that? We can't speak clear expectations. Why? Because the strong Black woman has a problem with saying no, but also has a problem with saying help. And help is kind of a derivative, if you will, of an expectation. There is an expectation of you assisting me and or aiding me. And let me tell you how this model, if you will, this model is the root, because this is what we've been given. This is what has been passed down to us. This is, the ways that the elders in our community suffered in silence, right? And with no way of escape for this type of toxicity, but for it to turn inward on in their bodies. And so these relationships and partnerships dissipate because we believe that we have to be strong, and partners, particularly partners who've also lived within a particular model of partnership, don't even have the tool to identify here's what's wrong. So you around here, Diana, trying to nurse a baby, be a parent to a toddler, be supportive to a spouse, identify your own ministry, keep up with your writing schedule, figure out, what your next teaching gig looks like. But all the while, you need a spouse. Ciao. Ciao, ciao. Ciao. Ciao, ciao. Yes, Dr. Walker, to do our own. Yep. Saying help requires knowing what you need and being able to verbalize that. We have not been taught how to do that. So we suffer without complaint until we get to the point of overload and we blow up. Listen. As an attorney in the workplace, I observed the amount of legal cases I had compared to my non-melanin sisters and realized others were giving me more of a caseload and actually made the statement, you can handle it. I spoke up that strong Black women is a myth and we are going to have the same caseload. Black women and femme are an ecosystem on which we have depended on for our spiritual and socio-cultural demands. Like any ecosystem, it requires a consecrated restitution. We must practice and develop a regimen of restoration, recompense, and regeneration. And I'm going to add, and reparation, Ashe. To better fortify Black women so they may flourish from girlhood to adulthood, even into legacy. This is not a regimen that is met by a means of time, but fulfillment of commitment to Black women's purposes and revelations to nourish Black women is to retain healing in the land. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Research shows that stress is a strong contributing factor for initial triggering and ongoing flares of autoimmune diseases. Black women are more likely to have lupus and many other autoimmune diseases. Causal, yes. Dr. Di is scared to ask for help, as we've learned folks don't want to, will judge, and we don't trust that folks will hear and see us. Yes. And then the same institution that was the co-conspirator in our death is the first to give us a good word at our homegoing services. Rochelle, I woke up this morning not feeling well and to 20 emails from my unpaid church position. I decided to stay home from church. I felt guilty, but this confirms that I needed to take care of me. Absolutely. Take the phone off the hook. Put it on Do Not Disturb. An academic colleague shared with me that after she read Too Heavy a Yoke, she realized that anytime she needed to delegate a task, she looked for a Black woman because she knew it would get done. Oh my God, today. What? Yes, Thelma. We feel guilty saying no, especially to our spouses and kids, but we receive no all the time. All the time. That's so good. All the time we receive a no. All all the, woo, child. Ooh, my, we receive a no all the time, and with nowhere to take our no's. Listen, where is the repository for all of the no's that we receive? While we are giving all the yeses. That's it. That's the comment. That's the comment. That's the comment. Employers especially begin to think that since you are no longer able to do the work in the same way, that they need to start looking for your replacement. Another sister who is not yet burned out and still suffering in silence. Woo! Listen. I got to bring this part to a close. But my goodness today. Let me at least finish this section of reading. And can we just please throw some hearts up for Dr. Shaniqua Walker Barnes and the spirit of the mothers, the power of the mothers that was on her at the writing of this book. And the fact that we have this as an archive to be able to return to, that this is indeed the word, one of the words of God for the people of God. Can we just clap for her and affirm her and stand with her and be present and be ready, right, to aid, to walk with, to journey alongside. I mean, this right here, there are seasons in your life. Let me just help some of you. These comments are it too, right? There are seasons in our lives where different texts will show up for us, right? And so this is for folk who might feel guilty or might say, well, I don't know how this ain't no spiritual gathering and you're not centering the word of God. Let me tell you that this is the word of God. Lights out. Let me tell you that this is absolutely the word of God at 1000%. And that there are seasons for which that which you've been handed, that which you've been socialized to give all authority to, is silent for you. There are seasons, Kyle, when it is silent. When you can read it from the front to it is silent. And it is in those seasons for me where I thank God for other authors who have read me back into feeling and into being. The first encounter I had with a text like that was Dr. Renita Weems' book, Listening for God. When I first went to seminary, I just could not understand, I was in such deconstruction because these were the assignments that I could not read, the biblical text. But let me tell you something, that Listening for God text became, oh my God, if you were to see my copy, it has all kind of highlights, all kind of notes in the margins, and it has become, and so this for some of us is what is going to carry us. It is what is going to set us free. And I'm so thankful. For this community, for the freedom to do this in this community, for the freedom that we have to be able to just take a moment and to reflect, to interrogate, to challenge, right? This is it right here. This is it. This goes right up there for me with Listening for God. Yes, Monica, this is it right here, right? This goes right alongside that. Dr. Walker Mom said, this is how they socialize us not to ask for and expect help. Keep asking, even if you have to ask different people. It's your right. Ashe, 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 ashe. Listen. Okay, so let me end it. The strong Black woman then is supposed to be capable of enduring life struggles without complaining. Indeed, she evinces no sign that she is under duress. Regardless of the level of chaos occurring in her life, she appears cool, calm, and collected. She is cautious to maintain control over her emotions, especially those that reveal her vulnerability, such as sadness, grief, helplessness, hurt, embarrassment, anxiety, regret, or fear, amongst others. It is common, for example, example for strong Black women to avoid crying both publicly and privately because they believe it to be an unacceptable display of weakness because somewhere some relative told us don't do that. Okay. And then Dr. Walker Barnes shares in her clinical experience, right? And this really is about vulnerability. I do need to read this part too for context because it's important. Hold on. Including Kesho Scott in her ethnographic study of 4 middle-aged Black women exemplifies this with a quote from one of her participants, quote, "I don't believe my husband has ever seen me cry. We have been married 32 years and I know that it has a lot to do with me being a Black woman. When I get angry with him, I will raise my voice or walk out, but I will not let him see me cry. I don't think tears get his or anybody's sympathy. I avoid tears because it is important for me to appear to have control over the situation. I don't want the person in power to know that I have lost control." This statement exposes an important element of the emotional repertoire of the strong Black woman, that anger is a favorite emotion over sadness. I'm a witness. In a classic fight or flight style, when the strong Black woman cannot avoid or flee vulnerability, she assumes a fighter stance, preferring the active emotions of anger, irritability, disgust, contempt, and annoyance. She talking to me, honey. Such fear of vulnerability is likely an inevitable consequence of the burden of strength. In order to reduce vulnerability, strong Black women often rely excessively upon the defense mechanisms of repression and suppression to deal with negative emotions. Despite their seemingly stoic demeanor in the face of stress, strong Black women are no more impervious to the difficulties of life than anyone else. That is, they experience fear, sadness, grief, and worry to the same extent as do other people. Indeed, given the socioeconomic, relational, and health challenges that confront Black women's lives, it could be reasonably expected that they have more opportunities to experience negative emotions than do other people. What is distinctive about strong Black women is the degree to which they suppress and repress these emotions, consciously and or unconsciously, keeping these feelings out of awareness. The strong Black woman effectually creates a mental dam behind which she blocks off negative effect, because any breaks in the dam might unleash the flood of emotionality. Behind it, she has to be very careful about her emotional displays, carefully restraining and controlling all negative emotions. In this regard, even her anger is subject to limited expression. I'm going to stop right there. My. Yes, Dawn, holding that dam together. Listen, I want to encourage you to go back through these comments, because in these comments are life resources. Get what you need from them. Ashe. Go back and rewatch. Get the book also. That's the main thing. Get the book so that you can begin to read it on your own and move through it, and so that you can bring questions. Those of you who have questions, maybe next week if Dr. Walker Barnes is available and on, you can pose your questions to her, and maybe she and I can talk about the possibility, Dr. Walker Barnes, of doing a Zoom afterwards, if you have time, in a more intimate setting where folks can ask questions, just a few, not, taxing you, giving you another assignment. So it's not, because I don't want to do that. I don't want you to have another assignment, another space. That's not what I'm wanting to do. And so, we can talk about what that might look like. But I am just so appreciative for this work, for what we are doing, for where we are. It's just wow. It's just wow. It's just wow. And so per usual, I thank you, and invite you to certainly share with us. For those of you who do, to share with us, to share with Dr. Walker Barnes by purchasing her book, Ashe. If you've not purchased it, please go ahead and purchase it. You can get it on Kindle as a download. You can purchase the book, the physical book in and of itself, as a way to support the academic, intellectual, and spiritual labor of Dr. Walker Barnes. I invite you to get the book. Get more than one, Ashe. Get more than one, and go ahead and gift it to someone in your life for whom you know that this would really assist and aid them to begin to think differently, to make them go, And then for those of you who often ask in search of ways to support us financially, I invite you to Venmo with us. That's our Venmo tag, which is at Melva-Sampson. I do not use Cash App, so I don't have a Cash App for you to use, but I also use, if Venmo's not your thing, I also use PayPal. You can PayPal at Robe Chronicles. At Robe Chronicles, you can be with us in that way. Hey, Dr. Irie, good to see you. And for those of you who do Zelle, you can also Zelle us at mlsampson2013 at Gmail. I put it in the comments. mlsampson2013 at gmail.com. And the name of Dr. Walker Barnes' book is Too Heavy a Yoke. Too Heavy a Yoke, Too Heavy a Yoke, Black Women and the Burden of Strength. So Too Heavy a Yoke, Black Women and the Burden of Strength. Okay. Thank you all for your anniversary wishes. Appreciate those, for your continued prayers for my father, for my family. Certainly send them right back out to you. Again, my heart is so very full, and look forward to seeing you again next Sunday, Ashe, God willing, and the creek don't rise. See y'all again. Go with spirit, go with God. Is the book available on Amazon? It is, Thelma. It is. Okay. See y'all.